Go ahead.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting of the Whitewater Township Board to order on August 11th, 2026. If you can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call of board members.
Milnick,
Here.
Aaron's,
Here.
Slipsima,
Here.
Hoeksema, present. Esther.
Absent. All right, this is a special meeting and we do not have a full board available. So there's no changes allowed to the agenda. I'd like a motion to approve the agenda as written.
So move, Melnick.
I'll second that. Hoeksema.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? None opposed. Moving on. Conflict of interest. Does anybody have a conflict of interest with the content of today's meeting? I see none noted. No conflict of interest. Public comment. Any person shall be permitted to address the meeting of the Township Board. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following board rules. Comments shall be directed to the board with questions directed to the chair. Any person wishing to address the board shall speak from the lectern. Please state your name and your relationship to the township. Persons may address the board on matters that are relevant to Whitewater Township government. No person shall be allowed to speak more than once per comment period. The chair shall control the amount of time each person shall be permitted, and it shall not exceed 3 minutes. In order to avoid unscheduled debates, the board generally will not comment nor respond to presenters. Silence or non-response from the board should not be interpreted as disinterest or disagreement. To maintain order, comments should be respectful to all parties. Who would like to make a public comment?
Of course. Morning, Jim Gaskin, Church Street. Couple quick things. I don't know. A question I have first is to talk about someone who's looking at the position for treasurer. Do we talk about that later?
This is the only public.
This is the only time I'll be able to.
Prior to us entertaining the candidates.
Thank you. All right, I'll start there. I'd like to talk about Sarah for just a minute. I think she'd make a great treasurer based on her past experiences and her other jobs. She has had a lot of responsibility, and I believe that this position requires a lot of responsibility. So very briefly, just to tell you, I would consider this a qualified person. I've got 20 years in the Navy, Chief Petty Officer. I've men's lives in my hands. So when you look at somebody, you learn what people are. That's just my opinion. Carry on here. Speed sign down here. I appreciate it going up. However, I do think it's in the most stupid place it could be put. Right now, what's happening is it says you're going too fast, which is great because they make this corner here. They turn down Church Street, and it's almost like they're at a racetrack. They try to see how fast they can go before they get there. Not just the cars, but anything, the little four-wheelers that go down there, guys on motorcycles. It's ridiculous, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is. And in its position, you only see it one way. If there were perhaps a speed limit that should be put there, I think it would be beneficial because then they could compare it to what the sign's coming up. Also, Vinton, there's nothing. And they're still hitting that sucker at 55 miles an hour as they come past this building. Again, I think that is a total safety factor. The signs were there. The speed limit signs were up. They were taken down. They've not been put back. They need to be here so people know. Next, along that line, no police presence to enforce it. And if somebody did get a ticket because they were quote unquote going too fast, they could fight it because there's no speed limit sign. And they would win every time. Taxes are due the 14th. I have a concern that I want to pay my taxes today, but if we don't have a treasurer, how can I ensure that A, I'm going to get a receipt when I pay it? And B, if I can't, then I'm not going to be charged late fees. That's important to me. Next, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, whatever you want to call it. Recently, there across the street from me, just down a little bit, people were there renting, fine. I had no problems with them until their dogs came out and attacked, that's the word. My son was walking with his wife, and you got 3 little chihuahuas, and walking with them, and their 2 dogs came out and attacked them. I went down to talk to the people. They would not open the door. They talked to me through the door. They were totally afraid. So of course I took the safe defense, hands up, stood back. Oh, my dogs would never attack. No, I saw them attack. I was there. So there's no way to control the dogs or the people or the animals that come in. I could go on longer, but my 3 minutes are up. Thank you
Okay.
so
Thank you,
much.
Jim. Anybody else like to make a comment?
Good morning, Julie Zenas, resident. First of all, I'd like to echo what Jim said regarding Sarah. It's not unknown that we've struggled in this township at the board level with controversy at the table. And I appreciate that Jill wants to go be with her family. I get that. I think we need to let Jill go be with her family. I think that we need to move forward and try to become, I don't know, more cohesive, because that's not going to change. So I commend you today for having this special meeting. I commend you for running the ads, looking for other treasurers. I think Sarah's going to do a fine job if you select Sarah. I looked in the packet. I didn't see a resume from Andy, which kind of concerned me. I actually kept looking and looking right up to this morning. And I don't know that he's not here, so I don't know what's happening there. But I think that this township needs a fresh start. And I think the fresh start comes with Sarah right now. And trying to move forward as one board, one community. Speed limit sign on Skigmog Point Road. I appreciate the money that you guys spent to try to support the speed on the road. Unfortunately, where it's with about 2 miles from the real density piece of the road. And now people are just flying down it even more, especially now that the 25-mile-per-hour sign's been taken off. I do know the speed study came through, which is kind of disheartening of what it did. So I'm not quite sure what the board can do, but I'm just going to step out and say, I think where the speed sign is on Skigmog Point Road, it's not going to do any good. So move it. It really isn't going to help anything. And again, I don't think that's on you, and I just appreciate that. Short-term rentals, anxious about next week's results. Just another reason why we just need to move forward as a board and try to become one community. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you, Julie. Would anybody else like to make a public comment? All right, we will move on with our agenda. We don't have any presentation or announcements under the consent calendar. We have simply the bills for approval. Does anybody want to remove anything from the consent calendar?
In order to discuss the bills for approval, I'd like to remove it.
Okay, is everybody all right with that?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we can just move immediately on to discussing the bills for approval. Let me just page over to that page here. Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Wendy, with your comments?
So in order to be perfectly transparent, we put Sarah as getting the recording secretary amount that she would be paid if she was doing the minutes. And so in consulting with MTA and looking at the IRS guidelines, it needs to be under payroll. So I just wanted you to also know about that. And I will be putting that under payroll for her. And she would not be paid as deputy clerk during that period as time too, so it's not double dipping.
Wendy, where
Okay.
is that on the list here?
So it's under Sarah. She did an invoice for the minutes that she had done. And so per our wage and salary schedule, she can get paid the same as the, for the recording secretary rate, and that will be put under the payroll.
So that's on page 4, Randy. So it's
Yep, I got it.
$587.50. So I just have a couple comments or a question on that. This is kind of similar in the vein to some of the other discussions we've had about additional compensation, right? And we've had in the past some cases where employees have more than one rate, correct?
Very much, yeah.
Okay, like some of the people that work park and fire
Mhm.
comes to mind right away. So I always thought that and I realized that when we took office, we approved a recording secretary for all the meetings. And then we had Sarah step in and doing this for us. So it's just a little bit of a difference. I guess it probably would have been good to kind of talk about it when we were making the decision, but at the same time, I realized we don't want to be so structured that we can't do anything in a timely manner.
Mhm.
So,
And it is on the salary and wage schedule, and I'm being fully transparent by showing you.
okay. I had forgotten that we had this on the salary and wage scale just because it has been a contract. Is that right, Tim? Do you recall? Is it on salary wage scale? I don't remember
Yes.
that. Okay,
It was, I believe, $75 for a 2-hour meeting.
200 for the first 2 hours and 75 after that.
But I mean, prior to having a outside contractor doing it, before it was the
Oh,
deputy
correct,
treasurer.
yeah.
So the higher amount was reflective of what Kay was charging. So we made our salary and wage schedule match what her charge was going to be.
yeah, I guess I
So
had,
she's not an employee, so she doesn't have any employee.
benefits.
She's a contractor, so we're not paying an employee a contractor rate. It was designed specifically for Kay. So.
Right.
That's,
For that reason, I guess I had not noticed we had it on the salary and wage scale, so. Okay, I don't have any other.
We're talking about the
comments.
meeting on July 9th and 23, which were township board meetings.
Mhm.
Well, this was 2 meetings worth. Any other comments or questions?
Excuse me, did you say that she was contract employee?
Jim, we don't take questions from the audience during this part of the meeting.
I understand that, but I'm just trying to put together, because as a contract employee, taxes and just trying to put it together.
I can clarify that at the end of the meeting, or I can call you separately, okay?
No, that's fine.
Sure. All right, do I have a motion to approve the bills for payment at this point?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills for approval
Okay,
as amended, then.
as amended, yes.
and I'll second that. So Slopsma seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None opposed. That motion passes. Okay, so moving on, let me go back up here. Now we've got the minutes for approval. So we have the July 23rd regular meeting minutes. And then we also have the closed session minutes from the same day that was part of the meeting. So we have both of those. Does anybody have any comments or discussion on the meeting minutes?
On the open meeting minutes.
On the regular meeting minutes?
Right.
Does anybody have any comments on any of that?
I do not.
Do not. Right, then I'll make a motion to approve the July 23rd, 2026 regular meeting minutes,
Second that, Melnick.
seconded by Milnick. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None opposed. All right, and then we have the
Can you
closed,
initial that and just give it back to him?
closed session minutes are approved with your initials here, right?
Did you already give me yours?
Yeah.
Randy give you his already.
No, that's not it. That's that. Thank you.
All right. Nobody came to me with anything on Parks and Recreation items under unfinished business, so we'll move straight on to new business. We've got Township Treasurer interviews. Andy Tezak did not go forward with completing his application with a copy of his resume, so we will not be talking to Andy today. Sarah, would you like to come forward? And her information is in your packet.
My name is Sarah Quigley, and I am present to express my interest in being interviewed for the Township Treasurer position.
Okay, can you be just a little bit louder so we make sure that you're
My
heard?
apologies.
you.
I had a cough and I didn't want to
Okay,
continue that.
I understand. Well, Joe, if you can turn her up a little bit, maybe just make sure it's coming through.
Thank you.
All right, so we have received your letter and your resume. Would you like to maybe touch on your qualifications that are most applicable to the role of treasurer?
Yes, I am currently serving as the deputy clerk and the recording secretary, and that has given me a good handle on township operations, procedures, the level of organization, and the attention to detail that is required when working with township and municipal records. I have 25 years of experience working in public school settings where I have been trusted with the children of ambassadors and other diplomats. I am accustomed to dealing with confidential records and longstanding record keeping in a sensitive yet as transparent as possible way to make sure that all parties have the information that is accurate and can be lawfully provided.
Great. I was gonna open this up to, since we all have some familiarity with Sarah, I was gonna open this up to questions that people maybe wanted to ask Sarah about her plans for this role. Andy, would you like to go first?
I will go first. I'm just looking at your resume and I'm unclear on it says on the second page, financial administration from complex real estate asset management, and that's to present. Can you elaborate on what that is?
I have been administering my deceased parents' estate while things go through probate for the past 4.5 years, keeping very accurate records of all of the expenses and receipts and communications with attorneys that are necessary to ensure that everything is above board and transparent to all of the co-owners of the estate.
So again, that's administering your family's trust or will or
Their estate.
estate. Okay. Um, and then your experience as deputy clerk has been for the last 5 months, is that right?
Yes,
Since
correct.
maybe- Okay,
Since March.
since March. Okay. and your degree is in education from Michigan State. And did you teach for a while? Is that what you?
Yes, I have been a teacher since
Is that-
1999. And I am currently working as a part-time adjunct professor at Northwestern Michigan Community College, teaching in both the math department and also the music department.
So is that a regular class that you're teaching there? Is that?
I teach applied music and I teach college algebra and I teach ear training and sight singing to incoming freshmen and sophomores.
Does that obligation interfere at all with the township business or with, I mean, is that each semester or is that periodically or how does that work?
I am able to juggle my schedule and I have class 3 days a week and I arrange my private students and my class responsibilities around township hours, which I've also been juggling since I started working here as deputy clerk. I've been able to do both accurately and build procedures to make sure that things run smoothly in the deputy clerk's section of responsibilities.
I'll probably have some more, but let's go on to someone else.
Okay, who would like to go next?
Just a couple.
Tim, go ahead.
About how many hours a week do you work now?
Between 25 and 30 here at the township.
And hard to say what the future brings, but do you believe it'll be about a year and a half that you would put your name in to be on the ballot to be elected to the position? Do you plan to do that?
If I am selected as treasurer now, I would definitely be interested in putting my name on the ballot when that is time.
Wendy?
What do you envision the transition might look like? And also, I know you have access to the tax account now and to the cash receipting accounts payable. We have access to everything as a clerk. What do you see as the most complicated system in BSNA?
The most complicated thing that I have been dealing with as the deputy clerk is the large number of electricity accounts that need to be carefully matched up and documented, and at times split between the fire department and the ambulance service to ensure that everything is accurately tracked. I think that the attention to detail is the most important aspect that needs to continue in all aspects of safeguarding the township funds. I think communication and making sure that questions are asked is important to ensure a smooth transference if I am selected to shift to a different office with different responsibilities. I know that I do not know everything and I know how to ask questions. That's something that I've done as a teacher for many, many years. When I don't know something, find someone who does and get advice, get counseled and learn and move forward.
But you're not opposed to the personal development either.
Oh, of course not. Thank you for mentioning that. That as an educator, that is a regular expectation of continuing to be an educator, and I seek out opportunities. One of the first things that I did when I became the deputy clerk was attend the MTA conference over at the Grand Traverse Resort and attend the Manor Casterizan workshop that they had on the very first day to immediately start integrating myself into a government role, which is very different from a career in education, asking questions, talking with people, making sure that I get the knowledge that I need for a new role.
Anything more, Wendy?
got a few more if that's.
I have a couple I wanted to ask. So what are you envisioning, you would set based on your current observations of how things are working or not working well? What are your plans for, office hours availability to the public?
I would very much like to shift to sometime every day, maybe in the morning some days and in the afternoons other days, to make sure that there is a visible presence where people who have afternoon hours could come in on some days in the morning, and I could be there to handle cash deposits and taxes. In other days, there are people who work a regular workday, and I can come in after like 4 to 6 p.m. to make sure that people who are getting off work can have someone here and give them a receipt for their taxes after they have their workday. During tax season, I think that is extremely important to make sure that there is someone available at a variety of hours so that people can come in when it is easiest for them to shift their schedules.
Okay, I'd also like to clarify, what's your commitment to NMC for like the fall semester as far as how many, classroom hours are, during the daytime hours are you going to be working?
I'm currently scheduled to work 4 in-class periods with students, and I have 3 private lesson students, so it's a commitment of 7 hours of classroom time on campus.
Okay, and are the private lessons that you referred to, are those during normal, like 8 AM to 5 PM?
It depends on the availability of the students. There have been times when I have taught private music lessons on the weekends when students are very full and also work a regular job.
Okay, so of the traditional courses, just 4 hours per week of regular classroom time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any, I think you understand statutorily you're required to have a deputy. Like what are your plans for, locating and employing a deputy?
I haven't yet made any because I didn't want to put the cart before the horse. I know that I need somebody who is also very detail oriented like I am. There are a couple of people who I have very gently mentioned the possibility to, but I also didn't want to get into a conversation before I am possibly selected or possibly not, because this depends on the choice of the board.
So I guess the one thing I want to make sure that you're aware of is that there have been some significant problems with the current setup of the, treasurer and deputy treasurer in terms of having sufficient resources available during peak periods, such as during the tax collection periods. And because of that, I know that I encountered instances of bills not being paid on time, and then suppliers, contractors being angry and refusing to do additional work because of the lack of payment. So it's very critical that if you were selected to get a deputy in place, even somebody that's temporary, as quickly as possible to make sure the workload leveling can happen and that everything that is truly necessary to be done timely is done timely. So people get their tax payments processed timely, but it's also just as important to pay our bills so that we don't get late fees and
Absolutely understood.
other.
Can we clarify that Sarah has been the one cleaning up all the mess in accounts payable? She's the reason that our bills are paid on time currently.
So I'm just emphasizing, I just want to make sure that she knows everything that I know. As far as
Understood.
that, the need for, my whole point is there's definitely, just like in the clerk's offices, you have peaks of demand during elections, you have similar peaks of demand, but they're longer running. with tax collection. That's my perception.
Mhm,
Just sharing that so we all know,
mhm.
because I think that it's been a point of frustration amongst public.
Well, I mean, obviously in the clerk's office, we hear it. So if one person that would know it best in this township would be the deputy clerk.
I 100% agree with and will do everything I can to make sure that things are paid on time.
Yeah, and I think the key is too, is that deputies don't have to work the same hours. Because they're,
Agreed.
just like I know sometimes you work here by yourself and sometimes, you know, I know you have to train people, but the point is it's better accessibility and service to the public if some of the hours are split.
Agreed. I do find that when there are things that in the beginning, I was not comfortable being by myself working until I had about, I think, 6 weeks of time with asking Wendy questions right across the room to make sure that I was following procedures, following township policies, making sure that I was coding things in the general ledger the correct way, making sure that I knew what was the right way. And then I started coming in a little bit early or staying after Wendy needed to go do errands, run things over to a different township office. I'm now comfortable working without someone there. And I would very much like for my own deputy when that is, if I am selected, I would prefer that myself and my deputy work separate hours to be more present for the township residents.
Okay, that's what I have for now. Randy, you have a few more you've thought of?
Well, a few more extras here. So if you were selected as treasurer, you would have a seat on the board, and that requires dealing with a lot of issues that are not necessarily just the treasurer's issues. So can you tell me what areas you're particularly interested in topics that face the whole township, not just the treasurer's office?
Um, I think that's a really good question, and I hadn't thought about that. I had focused more on what would be my hopes for the treasurer's position. I think that outside of the treasurer specific role, I want to I want to safeguard I want to safeguard the rural character of this place. My parents moved out here in 2002, 2003 because this was where they wanted open space, they wanted sky, and I would like to one of the MTA workshops that I went to was about protecting nature. And I think that is one of the areas where I personally would have an interest in participating, protecting the nature, protecting the natural resources of the township.
Okay. And then back to the treasurer's office. So what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for you if you were selected for this position too?
I think the biggest challenge for me would be um, the run up to getting experience like I did in the clerk's office, where there was a very steep learning curve and I needed to get a lot of information quickly. And I think that's where my career in education and the constant expectation of you must continue learning, you must seek out more knowledge. That's where that benefits me in this shift, because the tough part is going to be shifting from the accounts payable and human resources segments of BSNA over to the cash receipting and the tax, where that has not been my role in the deputy clerk's office. And I would immediately want to start looking at some training. We have a membership with MTA that has online trainings, and I would start right there with the subscription that we already have, looking at treasurer-specific parts of BSNA and record keeping.
And then finally, kind of as a related topic, do you have any specific goals that you would want to see achieved in the treasurer's office in the next year or two?
I would want there to be trust rebuilt with the township residents. I think that consistency and stability and professionalism and fairness and transparency over time is what can get the trust rebuilt with the township residents. And that is my personal goal, to have that trust rebuilt.
Thank you.
Jen? Any more? Wendy?
Can you tell us a little bit about any kind of experience you might have in accounting or payroll, that kind of stuff?
My experience in the deputy clerk's office is supporting with payroll and supporting with accounts payable. Going back further in my history, I have worked as a bookkeeper for a local accountant. And even going back into my teenage years, my dad was a CPA, and I was his data entry person as a teenager working with Peachtree software when I was about 15. And somewhere in a box, he was one of the first people in Traverse City to get Peachtree. And the rep came to our house and gave my brother and sister and I all these white shirts with the peach and the logo. And so I have experience with accounting and being around that kind of detail since I was a teenager. I love nothing more than a good spreadsheet, let me tell you. Spreadsheets.
Any more, Wendy? I have a question similar in relation to what Randy said, to just, I think this board in particular has the people here at the table have all taken on more than just their traditional role and responsibility in order to try and accelerate improvements for the township and close some longstanding gaps. And so kind of, again, just making sure that, we need everybody on the board to be doing those extra projects. And so are there projects that you've noticed around here that you might be interested in contributing to as we go forward? After you get a grip on your posting your tax payments?
Sure.
Paying bills?
I've driven around, and there are definitely there are things I've noticed as far as, and I'm not sure if this falls within the scope of any one person on the board, or if it is a community work group, or if it would be a committee, but there are historical things. I love old stuff, and that I actually took a part-time remote position as an archivist, because I would get to look through old documents, and I would personally love to get with Luann and look through some of the historical documents and photos and see if there's a way to make something like that more of an archival, public accessible project.
So can you also tell me a little bit about, I know when you first came to work for us here, I was aware that you have some knowledge or experience in, and I'm looking for it in your resume here. I think it was under your technology skills, some of your digital records management systems. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that is a challenge for us here, recovering records.
One of the things that I am actually most proud of with the archivist position that I have, I put in 3 to 5 hours a week with the NMC Library for their 75th anniversary celebration this year. And I was given access to a folder in Google Drive with thousands of images and documents and told, fix this somehow. And so I was given really no direction, and I created a workbook with tabs for different categories and sorting criteria so that the people who are working specifically on the celebration, they can go in and they can sort based on, do we want some alumni connections? Do we want awards and recognition? Do we want student life? What era is it from? And I created this database from, here's what will work as a procedure after it's all done, and make it usable for the people who are looking for specific things, that are looking to make a photo collage, or they're looking for newspaper articles, labeling things so that things can be sorted and organized and renamed appropriately by the people who are above my pay grade, who are just looking for an organizational process. And I'm so proud of that. Taking that, and I have so far 2,800 documents and images that are classified and sortable based on multiple criteria that a number of people at NMC can access and easily find what they want, rather than sorting through IMG 101, IMG 102,
Right, and not knowing what's
and not
inside.
knowing what it is.
Are there other things that we haven't thought to ask you about that you'd like to share with us as far as your, if you're selected, what your game plan is for improvement?
So team is really important. And if I am selected for the treasurer position, Linda, what would you imagine my role being on the team?
You mean as far as a board member
As far-
versus the
yes.
actual thing?
As far as a board member, what role do you see me playing in this team, both as a board member and extending into the additional duties and projects that everyone takes on?
Well, I would say first and foremost, I would expect you to do your job in a excellent quality and timely manner without question. Because keeping the workflow moving is vitally important, because otherwise I get a lot of phone calls and then we all have to run around trying to figure out what broke down. So trying to make sure that the workflow does not stall or stop. But then secondly, it's kind of relative to the questions that I asked. I mean, we need everybody pulling on their oar on not everything specified in the statute in order to make this township work correctly. Anything from junk day to finding solutions to where to put recycling in this township. They're popping up all the time. Some of them are anticipated and we know we have gaps, and others are things that are new problems. And so we need every board member to be willing to volunteer some extra time in order to get done what we need to get done. And I think you know some of the limits of the Open Meetings Act. We need to have sometimes pairs of people, such as Randy Milnick assisted me significantly in vetting assessor candidates in the last 2 weeks. And that was a big time consumption, but it's a better product as a result. So making sure that you're able to not only do your job, but you're able to contribute towards improvements or events that are important to the community. And it's really important that be equitable based on, salary you're paid. And I think what those numbers are for the township board members versus the trustees. So just that you do both.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Others, questions or questions you have for us? We've been getting you with the questions.
I have one more question.
Sure.
I would like to ask, um, I'd like to ask Tim, if you had to choose one problem to solve that is directly related to the treasurer position, what problem would you choose to work on first?
I don't know that it's necessarily a problem, but I would like to see more office hours. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And I think once a deputy is trained, um, I think that you can still manage keeping it part-time and allowing the deputy to be part-time and fill more time for every day of the week. So you touched on that, but that to me is the biggest thing that I hear from the public anyway.
I'd
Thank
like
you.
to echo that too. You know, I mean, generally, board members here, I try and always respond immediately to a board member question. I try and respond to everything, but board member question, sure, high priority to provide whatever support is needed, and I expect the same in return. And part of that's why having a presence more frequently is really important, because otherwise it takes too long to get anything done.
Availability.
Mhm.
And I'll just say further, you know, I technically tell people that I work 2 days a week, but these people all know that I work a lot more than that. And I make sure that I respond to their needs immediately.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Those are the ones that I thought of.
Okay. Any other last questions from the board members?
Nope.
Okay, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for hearing me today.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the assessor recommendation. So I have the information in the packet, plus I sent you all an email yesterday with an update. And so I'm just going to touch on the top points here, and Randy chime in if I miss anything. So we evaluated a total of 10 applicants that were qualified for the role. We evaluated them based on their state tax commission certification, their relevant work experience, their specific assessor experience. We added in, as we were working through it, equalization experience, because some of our candidates had equalization role at the county level, which oversees the assessors within a county and provides support for the assessors. And then additionally, we asked questions of the candidates regarding land division and evaluated whether their actual experience fit to the Whitewater Township needed experience. And what I mean by that is it proportional to our property demographic? Meaning, do they have experience in the areas in which we have land? Because not all townships are the same at all. So at this point, I provided some detail if you're curious regarding the whole menu of candidates, and I didn't publish that because it would need significant redaction. But I provided that to you in a color format. And at this point, I would like to recommend Michael Beach for the position. If I hit the high points with Michael, he's the Benzie County Equalization Director. He has 20 years of experience in assessing. He's a licensed Michigan Advanced Assessing Officer, which is, some people refer to it as third level. And then he plans to support Whitewater Township in addition to his role as the Benzie County Equalization Director. He works full-time for Benzie County. He has Thursdays off. And that would be his primary day to support Whitewater Township. So, and I would estimate, if everything goes as planned, he could start working with Don Coons on the 17th of August, which would give him a couple weeks time frame to do some crossover. So, I can make a motion right now, or you could ask some questions in advance, kind of. Why don't we do the questions first?
Is there anybody that was standing out as number 2?
Yes, yes, we actually had, I think, we had 4 very strong candidates. So I would say the number 2 person would be Megan Van Hoos. She actually is the equalization director at Kent County in the Grand Rapids area. And certainly she would have a further distance of travel to provide support. But she has substantial experience in total, as well as assessor experience, and equalization experience would be a bit more than Michael's. The other thing is she has a business partner who is very well credentialed as well, that helps her do some of the field work. And I put kind of a notation in there. He probably had the most substantial land division experience of anybody we spoke to. So that was a real plus in their category. We also had 2 other strong candidates, Alyssa Abney. She lives locally here in the township and has 10 years of experience. She's just pretty much worked on her own, not so much with other assessors, and she's got 2 small townships in Kalkaska County, and then 1 township, Hayes, up in Charlevoix County. And then there was a 4th person, Abby Abbott. She's earlier in her career compared to all the other people. She has not actually served as a standalone assessor. She has served as an appraiser underneath an assessor and works in Garfield Township locally here. She was a very good candidate as well, but as you can see, does not have as many years of experience as the other candidates. Randy, did you want to make any more comments?
No, I think it was a very thorough search, and as you can tell, Sarah's not the only one who likes spreadsheets. We have all the information right there in front of you. What I really liked about Michael was his demeanor and his willingness to understand our circumstances and to fit in, kind of addressing the problems that we have in terms of not only just the traditional assessment roles, but other things as well. He seemed very enthusiastic about the work, and I was pretty impressed with him.
Other questions, Wendy?
No, I just have a comment that, Benzie County is kind of on the other side of Traverse City. I think they have a similar situation, as us, of the rural sprawl and the tourist area. So they might be very aware of that kind of situation as well.
Some of the past townships he served, I mean, definitely he has the waterfront experience. He also has the ag and the rural. So he really, I mean, it's a very broad breadth of, I asked him for some detail as recently as yesterday morning to itemize all the townships he had worked for and in what time frame. And yeah, it was a list of about 12, 13 over the past 20 years.
I
And so, yeah.
typically head towards northern Michigan, assessors than downstate as well, just because of their knowledge of our area and history.
Mhm. So yes, so at this point, I'm going to make a motion to authorize the supervisor to make an offer of employment to Michael John Beach for $29,000 per year as a salaried, non-exempt employee, and appoint Michael, I misspelled it, spell his name there, Michael John Beach as the Whitewater Township Certified Assessor, replacing Don Coons as provided for in MCL 41.611, contingent upon successful completion of all pre-employment checks.
I'll second that motion, Melnick.
Any other discussion or questions? Go ahead, Tim.
Why non-exempt? Wouldn't it be exempt?
So that came out of a discussion with Catherine Mulhaupt at MTA. Because we're paying him less than, it's right around $35,000. She said he really should be non-exempt. And so what this would do is, if anything gets, I gave you a copy in the packet too of the, employment offer. The wording on that is such that it's a salaried position. So he doesn't have to fill out hours. He works every single day. But it says right on here, it's a flexible schedule. We anticipate, and I came up with this speaking with him, he anticipates he'll spend approximately 16 hours a week doing this work. As he gets into it, he will know better how much time it will take. It'll take a while for him to transition with Dawn and get a handle on things. And so it allows him, there are fluctuations in work within assessing, but it'll allow him the flexibility. And then he would need to come to me with prior approval. If there's something that he discovers is substantial extra work, he would have to come for pre-approval for overtime.
I think he's asking like more, what did Catherine say about the IRS guidelines and what an assessor needs to be?
Okay, so there was also, is that what you were asking? Was about
Well, yeah,
relative to
I
the
remember,
exempt, the
I
non-exempt
remember
people
reading about
dollars.
that. The minimum wage to be considered exempt. I remember
Right.
seeing that.
Yes,
What's required to be a full-time employee of the township.
right.
basically.
And I am proposing that we do hire him direct because of the information that Catherine provided about the risk of back payroll taxes from the IRS if we were to not have him be classified as a salaried employee with the reasonable salary and not without that that contract assessing. About half of the people that applied originally gave me contract proposals. But I did share that detail from MTA with Michael as well as with the assessor from the Grand Rapids area. And once they read that, they gave me salary proposals. So they realized that, and ultimately the liability is on the township, not on the assessor. So.
Right.
Does that answer the questions? Okay, are you guys ready to vote? All right, roll call when ready.
Hoaxma, yes. Aaron's,
Yes.
Milnick,
Yes.
Slopsma,
Yes.
and Kester absent.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. I will take care of getting him the offer letter today, and I'll need a little help from you, Wendy, on the employment checks.
Mhm.
Make sure we.
Excuse me, Linda? What is the spelling on his last name?
It's Beach and K at the end of the meeting. I'll get you a copy of this
Okay, thanks.
motion here, so you've got that.
Yeah.
Okay. Move this aside here. All right, moving on here. The next two items are connected and I put some potential motions in the packet to give us some options. So we've got a discussion about possibly accepting the treasurer's resignation. And then the follow-on item that's connected is possible appointment of a township treasurer to fill the unexpired term. So get down to those motions.
So just for clarification, there was an email from Jill offering to extend her.
Yes, that came in overnight.
Yes. until September 30th.
And what are your thoughts on that?
You're asking me specifically.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that we need to have that much time.
I'm not sure that it was a legal extender of resignation because the MTA guidelines say a signed letter needs to be given by the elected official to the board.
And I will just add, I did speak to Jill about this late last week, and I did tell her that she was allowed to update the date and just sign her name next to it, but she sent the email.
Right.
And
Details.
I had told her she could take the old one, mark it up and
So
sign.
MTA has some guidelines about how to transfer and transition from one treasurer to another. Basically, they do a report in BSNA and have each person sign off on it, and then the next person would start the next thing. I think that there's no use in waiting much longer. I know that it is during tax season, it will be hard to, but I mean, they would be until the end of the day today and then basically deposit all the money that they had and then move forward. I don't think it's much different than when she took office, you know, that she had to learn and jump right in and not have someone help her. I mean, she could always still be available, you know, for questions, that kind of thing. I can see this working is what I'm saying. And I've also want to mention that I've had multiple people in the public think that she's already gone, she's already resigned and she's still getting paid. So they are concerned about that as well.
But she has been coming in.
She has been, but they don't know
Make her
that from,
clear to
yeah.
people.
yeah.
So the current resignation date is the end of the month, right?
Current resignation date is whatever we make it. And so if we accept her resignation today, it would be today.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it
But
would
her
be,
letter
we could
said-
make it at the 5th. So her letter says the 23rd. So if
Oh.
if we accept the resignation today, it's whatever date is later.
Right. Her originally letter said, it's in the packet here. Her original letter said,
July 23rd.
yeah, July 23. So, I think it would be nice to get the bills paid that we just approved today. So that would mean we need to, and I don't know what their specific plans were. Today's Tuesday, so one or the other of them should be in today to pay bills.
Correct. But I'm saying even if we accepted her resignation today and appointed Sarah the treasurer, that would not have to change. Do you know what I mean? Like that could still keep going and stay on track.
So I think, yeah, your point is we can designate a date,
See,
correct? We could designate a date of like next Monday. If we so chose.
I do not know if that's true. I think it's the actual board meeting that it's accepted at. We accept her resignation, then it becomes final that day at 5 o'clock. That's how I read that.
Tim? I know you spent a lot of time talking to Catherine Mulhopt about that. I thought
I'm
that
not-
everything
Not
I
about
read.
this.
Okay.
I don't, so I don't know.
We also have the meeting on, we also have our meeting on Thursday,
Correct.
which would be really good timing for that because that would allow the treasurer's office to operate for 2 afternoons. Knowing full well that we have that next meeting.
could you refresh my memory on the advertisements that were put out there for positions and the deadlines?
It was August 4th.
Yep,
Deadline was August 4th. Okay.
right, and we've received nothing, correct?
Nothing. I mean, I can see the pros and cons of trying to prolong it a little more, but it's like ripping off a Band-Aid, I guess. I don't know.
So all interested candidates had to submit something by August 4th.
Go ahead, Tim.
I think I like the idea of waiting until Thursday's meeting. That would give Sarah time, perhaps, maybe not, to even have us approve a deputy at that meeting.
You don't have to
and-
approve a deputy. You
What?
just have to approve their rate of pay. You
That's
don't
what-
approve the deputy.
No, that's what I'm talking about. So.
So
and
just to
and I-
clarify,
and
what
I-
you're saying is since she's our only candidate, she could be prepared potentially
Yeah.
to.
Well, we can appoint her before we accept the resignation as well. That says it in that paper too.
So we can appoint her as a future date, correct?
You can do it up to 30 days before the resignation.
Mhm.
The other thought I had is Monday is going to be the start of a new pay period. And so at the beginning of next week, we'd have a new treasurer and all of that. So that was one thought I had.
Does that provide any convenience on your end?
No, I mean, it's no different in BSNA, you know, it's easy. She already did ask for her retirement benefits and I had already talked to the people and asked them what would be the, up until this date, you know, what she could be her payout. So that's already been calculated.
I'm going back to this document you linked over to us today, the original document that we looked at as far as how to deal with the resignation of a board member. Let me see if I can grab where that is. Here it is. It's on my Internet Explorer. So somebody a few minutes ago made a reference to something in here. What was, I think Wendy, you just said we can appoint the new official at a future date and then accept the resignation. Can you kind of direct us to where it is in here? Make my document bigger so I can try and find it.
The board, it's right in the page 5. The board may appoint someone to fill the vacancy up to 30 days prior to the effective date of the resignation. The new official may take the oath prior to taking office, but is not clothed with the authority of the office until the resignation takes effect. So a couple things that also need to happen for the new official would be not only the sign off of the BSNA report and both of them signing off and transferring over, but also the new person would take an oath and also get that surety bond right away. So that might, and also the signing of the bank things, you know, that kind of thing. So that might take a couple days of transition time.
So my understanding is the surety bond is coordinated through the county.
It
that
is, yep.
correct? So that's not something she has to independently do at all. So I definitely think it might be helpful to process this transaction at our meeting on Thursday because it would allow us to double, triple check several things. I don't know what the rest of you guys think.
I was just going to ask, the requirement is being a qualified elector. Do we have evidence of that?
Yes, she wouldn't have applied.
Okay, so she's been registered to vote for 30 days.
Oh, yes.
You raise your hand if we say anything inaccurate, Sarah, about you.
So is it the sense that people want to leave this meeting with her having the idea that we're going to vote for her to be appointed to the treasurer? Because I don't have any problem, however we would do that. But I'm just saying for her to officially take office, to me, it just seems like it'd make more sense for it to happen Friday. I mean,
The
let
transition
the current
time,
ones
yeah.
go through the week. And I know Jill had mentioned to me that she had a couple things that she wanted to get done this week. So
I think making the effective date or transition date either Friday or Monday makes sense to me. I guess, is it okay with the rest of you guys if I invite Sarah back up to the podium to maybe answer a question or two?
Yes.
I think she could take the oath of office during the meeting on Thursday, couldn't she?
If we appoint her before that.
Sarah, could you come up to the podium?
Thank you.
Do you have any concerns with taking up this role as soon as this coming Friday?
I do not.
Okay. any other questions as long as I got her out of her chair? Wendy, do you have any concerns as far as the operation of the clerk's office of this happening this quickly?
No.
Okay.
Then I think we just need a motion to set the date for Friday, right?
Friday at 5, because that's usually when it said, I read that somewhere, it's like effective at 5 o'clock or the end of business day for that day. Yeah,
Or that could be Thursday, actually.
yeah.
All right, so somebody should probably scratch out a motion so we can read it accurately.
Well, your second motion there?
Let me look up what I put in there here.
The one where you do the combo, accept the resignation with the effective date of 5 PM Thursday.
Yeah, I did this like a week ago, so I'm trying to remember what I did.
You want me to just,
It's the last page.
do you
Yeah,
want me to
I'm
kind
just
of
trying
like
to-
wing it here?
Yeah, I'm just reading it again to make sure I think it's not screwed up. Okay.
I'll give it a shot if you want me to. You've pretty much written it out.
Yeah. Contingent upon the appointee taking the constitutional oath of office and
Mm-hmm,
filing the required charity. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good.
mm-hmm.
So what's the third motion?
Yeah. You want to go ahead, Tim?
Yeah, I'll move to accept the written resignation of Jill Kester effective Thursday, August 13th at 5 PM, and to concurrently appoint Sarah Quigley to fill the vacancy of the Office of Township Treasurer for the remainder of the unexpired term ending at noon, November 20, 2028, contingent upon the appointee taking the constitutional oath of office and filing the required surety bond.
I'll second that, Melnick.
Okay, any further discussion? I thought earlier we said Friday. Do we want it Thursday at 5 or Friday at
Well,
5?
Well,
She said it had to be at 5 o'clock, so if you did Friday, it'd be Friday at 5, so
I'm just asking the question.
this way she can participate in the meeting, actually.
I was
We
gonna
do
say,
her oath of
the-
office at the beginning of the meeting, she could be a board member at the meeting on Thursday night.
yeah, yeah, and it gives us enough, 2 afternoons, enough time for them to get all their stuff together and contact everything we need to. So this is good.
Okay, so we're gonna keep the date as is,
Mhm.
Thursday, the 13th, 5 PM.
Thursday the 14th.
It's
Thursday, the 13th.
13.
13.
Today's 11.
giving us bad information.
All right.
Thursday, the 13th at 5 PM.
All right.
So Sarah's a board member at our Thursday night meeting.
Yep.
The very beginning, we'll have her take the oath of office right at the beginning after the Pledge of Allegiance, and then she's a board
So
member.
we need to vote.
Okay, roll call vote when ready.
Slopsma,
Yes.
Milnick,
Yes,
Aaron's,
Yes,
Hoaxma, yes. Kester's absent.
congratulations.
Thank you. Looking forward to serving.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Okay,
I will send her the packet that I sent the rest of it. I think I already did.
Probably, yeah,
Did I include her already? Thought I did.
possibly.
okay, the last agenda item for today is just a little discussion about the meeting logistics for the August 27th meeting, which is a 9 AM meeting. LIAA is unable to support the logistics of the YouTube live streaming. So the options that we have for that is to change our meeting date. They are gone that entire week and unavailable, so we would have to move it a week earlier or a week later. Or the other option is to just not have live streaming for that meeting. That is
The third option is not to have a meeting.
Or another option is to not have a meeting, and there's a fourth option. Somebody could volunteer to be trained by Joe next week and therefore be capable of trying to do all this themselves. So those are the options. I looked at changing the meeting date, and I looked at that, and that would just turn things into a total mess. I do not see the benefit of changing the meeting date. I agree, we should decide to either cancel the meeting or continue without the live stream, or if there is somebody that really wants to learn how to run the camera and position it, et cetera, then they could volunteer. I'm actually on vacation next week, so I will not be volunteering to do that. So what do you folks think? Tim?
So I'm looking at the proposed agenda for right now. We have the L 4029 approval, but that could be approved the first meeting in September, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have potentially a moratoria ordinance introduction. Potentially. Consideration of a private road ordinance, potentially. So I don't think either of those are so urgent that you would have to have a meeting. We have the land division ordinance review attorney input as unfinished business, but again, that can wait from what I understand. So I'm not really, we have on here right now, Linda, and I don't know if this is a carryover. Brad Weirda, Smith and Johnson was going to do a timeline lawsuit update. Was that, we already did that in the closed
I
session?
think we already did that, and I
so-
think that would be removed.
Okay, take that out. But, so I don't really see right now that we have any burning issues on the agenda for the end of the month, but.
What do the rest of you guys think as far as do we need to meet to do bills?
No, I don't think it would hurt to skip one last summer meeting. And I actually have an opportunity to go to an education day for the Municipal Clerks Association that day, so
So you might be absent anyway.
I would like that, yeah.
This
I
is
guess,
This is a 9 a.m. meeting too, by the way. It's not the evening meeting, so it should be more administrative topics to begin with.
right, and even though it should be administrative, even though I guess my one question to you, Randy, is what about those other zoning amendments? I think they were really uncontested by the public. The other two that you were gonna do the write-up on.
Right.
Is there an issue with pushing that out a couple weeks?
No, those are technically ordinance amendments, so I wouldn't consider that to be an administrative topic.
Yeah, I know it's not quite administrative. I just wasn't sure if there was
There's
urgency.
nothing urgent to those. Some of those problems are longstanding that
Okay.
need to be corrected from.
You feel that way about the private roads too?
Well, I hate to keep pushing that off, but there's been so many other priorities here lately. We don't have a lot of choice, I don't think, I think that may be, and we can talk about this later, that may be a topic for more conversational issues, because there's issues about the administration of the private road ordinance, whether that is a board function or a planning commission function. So there's some,
Because that's a general ordinance, correct?
right?
Okay. And it was just the planning commission helped us.
Right,
that done.
there's a draft that was prepared, the attorney, Peter reviewed that, had mostly grammatical changes or formatting kind of issues, but the one more substantial issue is the administration topic of that, so.
Yeah, okay.
But September 10 is still a good day for all that.
Yeah, although I don't know we're gonna resolve it on the 10th. I mean, I wouldn't, maybe we would, but I guess.
But it sounds like no matter what, if we cancel the meeting and move it to the
Right.
10th, that would be a
It
pretty
should be,
potentially kind of a heavy agenda with several of these items. Although I believe
Yeah.
the other two planning commission amendments, again, I would classify them from what I've heard as really the public hasn't expressed concern against them to any great degree. And they're just sensible cleanup work. And The private
Yeah.
road is a little bit more significant.
Right.
Will impact landowners.
Yeah, that one is more significant, and the other two, we actually had public support for the amendment, so.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
And the land division ordinance, that we do need to,
we do. We just don't want
Move
that to
forward
fall
with
off the
that.
radar screen.
yes. Okay, so I think what I'm hearing is that people think we should just cancel the meeting.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to cancel the August 27th regular board meeting.
I'll second that.
Right, seconded by Hoaxma. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? None opposed. All right. Well, if you can remove that from the calendar and do your update stuff, Wendy. Okay,
I see I have the wrong start time for the meeting that you're gonna announce. It's right on the agenda that's posted, but
oh, okay. So announcements, our next township board meeting is August 13th, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Are there any other board member announcements?
I just want to say that I have had an awesome team of election workers. We got through the election without many hitches at all. Everybody worked really well together. Got through the board of canvassers, so one more under our belt. So on to the next one.
Okay. I had one other thing. I forwarded the information out to Jim Snyder, who lives over right next door to the post office, requested to be put on our agenda to address some concerns about zoning in the village. So I asked for some feedback as far as support for adding that to a board meeting agenda.
would that be a planning commission issue?
Yeah, it's,
I wondered if it was more of a planning commission issue when I read the
It's-
notes. I'm throwing it out for discussion.
it's not really clear what he's talking about as far as that, but it does belong in the planning commission if there's a discussion about the changes, and that is on the radar screen too, to update that. So,
Okay. I can provide that feedback to Jim. And is that something he was saying that he felt he wanted to speak for about 10 minutes? So he probably would need to talk to Reen about
yes.
choosing an appropriate date. Okay. Okay, any other board member announcements?
I just have one. I just wanted to remind everyone that the Planning Commission has a special meeting on Monday to review the results of the short-term rental survey. It'll be available on YouTube so they can live stream that as well.
Is that a 7 PM?
It's a 6 PM meeting.
6 PM meeting.
August 17.
Kelly from Epic MRA will be doing the presentation.
Is that the only agenda item is just?
Yes.
All right, we're up to public comment again. Would somebody like to step forward and make a public comment?
Me again. Just have a quick question. It's not really a comment. On your new assessor, did anyone on any of these people that you're looking at, or did they talk to their employers to ask questions about the individual?
The answer to that is yes.
Okay, that was just one of my concerns. Thank you.
Heidi Baumuth. I live in Ag. New day, new leadership. When we have a broken team, it's really important that we fix it. Congratulations. Nice job. My biggest problem with that position as a treasurer is even when I was a trustee, I used to call the treasurer Waldo because more people couldn't find the treasurer to pay their taxes, answer questions. I would be in here reading minutes and people would just parade in and out. I get phone calls. I can think of one angry person named Rodney Challenger every time he came to pay his taxes. No one was here on the last day to collect. There's a confusion because most treasurers think that because it's the weekend, Monday's the next business day, I'll just waive it. That's happened in this community. I've stood on the other side of the wall as a trustee and heard it happen. I don't air dirty laundry unless it's a good thing. Moving forward, this gives people a little more warm and fuzzy. Let's call it comfortable, warm and fuzzy. I'm actually going to get to see a treasurer possibly. It's the only time people come in and see the treasurer is to pay their taxes. Whether you know it or not, this is like a revolving door. It never stops. I've been in government since I was 22 years old. In January, I'll be 65. The door never stops revolving because people want to see who you are and what you are doing. My last comment is I've emailed the road commission about the 25-mile-an-hour signs. You can't just take a traffic sign down and not put it back. I'm still waiting for some information from Julie. I think her 90 days is up. I always give government people 90 days when I ask for something that they might have to research or whatever. Now I'm going to have to FOIA the information. Because if a traffic sign for speed is not done appropriately, it falls apart in court. The cops will not even waste their time giving a ticket. Although some police officers will give the ticket knowing that possibly the person receiving the ticket won't read. But there's all kinds of different stipulations that you have to follow for that to happen. Nice job today. Have a good one.
You.
Julie Zenas, resident. Congratulations. I don't know if you want to hear that or not. Actually, interviewing people can be very difficult. What do you ask? Are you coming from corporate? Is it government? Whatever. I've interviewed more than 7,000 employees in my recent position and asking the right questions. You never know if you're really going to get the right person until they get there and do the job. So congratulations on making the decision and making the appointment. I do want to congratulate Sarah on the appointment. I think it's a great opportunity for this township to move forward as a team. I actually look forward to sitting in meetings now and seeing what we get. Even today's meeting, the vibe was just very different. Whether you intended on it or not, I don't know. I'm confident that the board will work together, and I'm excited to welcome Sarah to the team. She brings the experience and, most importantly, her strong commitment. There was a consistent question that was asked at board level today, and it was about office hours. And you're spot on. I look forward to paying my taxes in person now because I never could either. And so, Sarah, you have a lot. I'm directing it towards you, but I'm looking behind me. You have a lot to do. You have a lot to learn. Number one priority is making sure the office hours are covered and somebody sees you, especially in the beginning. people want to know who you are, to know that this board made the right decision. So thank you for your time.
All right. Any further board comments or discussion? Right,
Just
Go ahead.
a question. Where are we at with, I've been responding to some of the CPA's questions about this and that, nothing major, but where are we at, where they stop and where the auditor starts, do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. I thought we had it set up for like the
So-
middle of August is
Well,
what I thought.
yeah, there's, I think it's next week that they are supposed to take over, so I don't know if they're, how they're in the process, though.
Are you aware of, I know we got the bill from Maynard Casterison that
Right.
came in yesterday.
Yeah,
Um,
we were gonna look over the POs and make sure you have,
but my point of that is, I know that they were driving towards having the trial balances cleaned up they were driving at the end of July, right? So that you could start.
oh, right,
Not-
yeah, yeah.
not
I
you,
think they
I
were
mean,
still
so
working
that
on the,
audit could start.
I think they were still working on the tax account reconciliation, the last I knew.
They're working on fixed assets right now too.
And they're also just making sure there's like documentation and things, little details, so.
So could you follow up with,
Of course.
Gaybridge, and then maybe we could just get a quick update
Mhm.
on Thursday? That would be good. I was thinking the same thing. I know it's like coming up.
I kind of almost wanted to
I'm
ask
not-
them for itemized bills because they just give us hours and then I don't know what they've been.
You mean Maynard Casterison? I think that would be constructive feedback to them for, yeah, I agree. There's been a lack of discernible detail.
Right, yeah. What
And
have you
I'm
done?
fairly sure they have the detail.
Yeah, nope. They just need to share it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other last minute questions, comments? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.